Thanks for joining us on the That's Rather Cavalier podcast. Before we get to it, make sure you follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Just search FFSN, That's Rather Cavalier. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify. Also, check out our Cavs Shorts on the Know It All's YouTube channel. Now let's get to it. Houston, we have problems. And I'm not talking about the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center down in Houston, where the NASA program is centrally located. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets having problems with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Summer League Championship game as Cleveland wins 99-78 and looks good in doing so. They go to 6-0, drop Houston to 5-1. It was a great game if you're a Cavalier fan, an avid Cavalier fan of basketball follower. You want to know about your team. The Summer League does mean something. Doesn't mean everything, but it means a little bit. Relly, what's up, man?
How you doing, man? That Cavs game was pretty fun to watch.
It was, man. I got ahead of myself real quick, man. Hey, I'm your host, Tate, with my co-host Relly here. This is the Rather Cavalier podcast. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your audio podcast. Check us out. And we might even put this one up on YouTube because it's all about the chip, baby.
Yes, sir.
So, Relly, what's up, man? What do you think about the game?
I was actually pretty, like I said, it was pretty fun. First quarter, we was pretty dominant. Second quarter, we started doing some weird stuff in Cavaliers fashion. But then second half, we pulled back through. That's exactly what I wanted to see. It kind of made me double down on Sam Merrill. I want him to get a roster spot. Isaiah Mobley, he played really good. And Imani Bates. Imani Bates too. He had moments where he did look scared a little bit. He was playing a little timid, but he still was 20 plus points in that game. So
I got the numbers right here, man. Give me just a second. Imani Bates had 17 on 6 of 13, shooting 2 of 6 from 3. I think he had like 5 rebounds, 4 assists, couple blocks, couple steals.
Had a couple steals, yeah. The steals was the one that shocked me because he was actually, I don't know if it was the third quarter or fourth quarter. He definitely read the offense. Like,
who shot you?
Imani Bates on the defensive end.
On that steal where he dropped to the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good play.
He read that perfectly.
He did. Man, but, I came on the air saying, Houston, you have problems. But, really, Houston don't have problems. You know who has problems?
Who?
The Cavaliers. I mean, this great Summer League team, man, what do? You just say you want Merrill on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, think about it.
You still, yeah.
Of all the great contributors, so they probably sent Travers back over to Australia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about Porter Jr.?
He played good.
Right.
He played good.
Imani Bates.
Played good.
Isaiah Mobley. Merrill. Sam Merrill. I feel like I'm missing somebody, man, that could get a potential look. But so we're looking at, say, 5 players for three two-way contracts. I mean, it's like the JV's so good, which guys get to dress varsity, right?
Yeah.
What do we do, Relly? What do they do? You tell me.
They got some tough decisions to make. Honestly, I don't know what they do, man. I do know Sam Merrill for sure has to get a spot. That shooting is crazy, but at the same time, you're right, because then you like, all right, if you say, let's say you pick Mobley, Bates, and Merrill, what you gonna do with Porter? You gonna put him back down there? Like,
hey, man, Porter is the backup point guard of the future. I mean, to me, Porter and Mobley make Rubio and Dean Wade expendable.
I got no comment for that one.
What do you
I
think?
agree.
The audience can't hear your face. What do you think?
I agree because I mean, you watch how they play. Like literally, it was so many points of the game where when they took Porter out, the offense got really stagnant. And as a point guard, he was really facilitating what needs to be happening. Like he was getting Mobley in that 2-man action. He was getting people open shots. He was calming our offense down. He was making really great defensive reads too.
I wasn't surprised on the broadcast when JJ Redick and what's the other guy's name? I don't know his name. I can't think of his name.
I know what you're talking about that.
Mark Jones. Mark Jones and JJ Redick said that Porter Jr.'s favorite player was Rondo. That didn't surprise me, man. Rondo was just all around, filled that stat sheet. You know, wasn't a serious jump shooter. You know, he could make them sometimes. But, I mean, he kept the offense on schedule, kept that train on schedule. He rebounded well for a guard. Yeah. You know, part of keeping the offense on schedule are the assists. That comes with that. The assist.
Dwight Howard in there. Huh? I said he did throw in Dwight Howard. He said those was 2 go-tos.
That's not no good comp for him. We ain't talking about.
He can't be no Dwight Howard.
No, he can't be Dwight Howard. But he can rebound though, for good for a guard.
I agree.
But yeah, man. So I don't know what the Cavs are going to do. The training camp's going to be interesting. Training camp's going to be very interesting.
I'm going to say, what do you do? Like now what we've seen with the Summer League, we've seen a lot of our young talent blossom right before our eyes. Like, who would you cut? Like honestly, do you make a trade to kind of squeeze another player in there, or do you just make the hard not decision that one of these young players we just seen in the Summer League just not gonna make the main team?
We're looking at Isaiah Mobley. I think Mobley ready for some rotation minutes, man. I mean, on the varsity squad. I mean, I'm not saying he's the backup big man, but he could be like the 4th big man, right? I mean, they traded for Damian Jones, who's a big body, going back up. You know, like I said, I think Mobley can push Dean Wade for his position. The Cavs can trade that contract and get off of Dean Wade if they can, and get off of Rubio. I like Rubio 2 years ago. Just wasn't the same last year. Maybe he comes back this year. He's going to play over on the Spanish national team, so he can get a lot of good rec over there this summer. Maybe he comes back better. Because, you know, the year before he came to us, that was the year of the Olympics. And he was killing the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know,
like a whole new Rubio.
Right. So maybe, but I mean, I'm seeing with Garland, Mitchell, Karis LeVert, you got 3 capable playmakers. Garland's obviously a true point guard, but you can stagger how Mitchell and Garland play together and LeVert, and always have one of them on the floor to kind of initiate offense. But for a true backup point guard, I like Ty Jerome. And I like this guy, Porter. Jerome signed a 2-year, $5 million deal. He'll be gone in a couple years, and Porter will really be ready to come in and be just a solid NBA backup.
So I'm about to say, you're not plugging in Sam Merrill?
I like Sam Merrill, man. I think he'll be a defensive liability. I think the shooting is great if they hadn't picked up. You never got too much shooting though, but they signed Strus, Niang, Ty Jerome. You got Mitchell, Garland coming back, shooters. Ideally, Dean Wade is that other shooter out there too, but he kind of lost it towards after the All-Star break last year. Maybe he was injured or something. I don't know. But man, I like Merrill, man, but I don't know who to keep. I gotta keep Mobley.
Yeah, right.
I can't expose Porter. I gotta keep him. Or at least on a 2-way contract. Gotta keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to keep Imani Bates. You got draft capital invested in him, and he's starting to show a little bit. I mean, I listen to you ever listen to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show?
Mm-mm.
Pretty good show, man. Your boy G. Bush is on there. Couple other guys, the Bull. And the Bull get on my nerves, man, because he always talking bad about Imani Bates. Like, he's not going to do nothing. He's just a wasted, that 49th picks don't never do nothing. But, I mean, it's not true, man. You can see the talent in this kid, man. You just have to let him grow and develop. And in any old man, old as me, like he is, that sit back and talk about a 19-year-old kid and what he can and can't do or is not capable of, I don't agree with it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he said just to put it in context, but just like I was even talking with Ahmad and he said it best. A lot of people, one mistake, you make it seem like the player or that person can change his tune. But I would have to admit my wrongs because I really said, because I even thought a little bit that Imani Bates pass would be something that we would have to worry about. But honestly, I don't think that's true. I think Imani Bates probably in the next 2 years really will be our next starting small forward. And honestly, he might be our next starting small forward by the trade deadline.
Whoa, that's saying a lot, man. He's
talented, man. Like you talking about, like, obviously, maybe you don't pit him like because you do got DG, you got Don, so maybe you don't necessarily need a shot creator. He would have to develop his craft, right? But honestly, when I look at Imani Bates, sincerely, I think about the situation with Michael Porter Jr. Same situation. He was supposed to be a number 1 pick. He was in his little situations. Well, when Michael Porter Jr. he was hurt. He slipped in the draft. A team like the Denver Nuggets took the chance on him, and then they prospered. And I feel like Imani Bates is going to be in the same situation. He's a tall small forward. He can create a shot. He doesn't really lose his confidence. I mean, if you look at that game, it was times where maybe you did question his shot making, his shot decision. But honestly, you look at his behavior, he never backed down from anything. He kept going. He kept trying to get to the lane. He kept attacking. He kept getting aggressive. He kept making smart plays on the defensive end. He shows that he has that potential where he's like, hey, I'm going to be effective, right? And it's where, like, I can sincerely see Imani Bates by the trade deadline. He might be our starting small forward.
I think at best this year, he comes off the bench as like an 8th man. I don't think he's gonna put him in the starting role this year. I don't think. Real quick, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, G. Bush, Brad Sellers, who was an Ohio State basketball player back in the 80s, played for Chicago Bulls. Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, Cleveland's very own, played Ohio State, won national championship. And Mikey McNuggets, those guys, man. But it's a really good show. I like watching it. And obviously I'm a Cavs fan, but I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan also. But I like the guys, like they vibe, so I watch it. But yeah, back to Imani Bates, man. Man, I agree with you. He got the potential to be a lot. His shot selection is suspect at times.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even call it not suspect. I would call him ill-advised. He takes ill-advised shots. He hit one shot, everything he check after that, right? That's what he does. But, I mean, I like the idea of having somebody that can create from the 3 their own shot and get it off and hit and make the basket. But he needs to learn more to try and facilitate off his shot creation, create for others. If he's ever playing with Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, LeVert, he'll have to do that.
I agree. But I feel like because he's so young, I mean, he's going to develop his offensive game, right? Like, with a young player, he's going to get more reps, more experience. I mean, when you playing with 2 really great offensive players in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, it's going to get there. So I don't really have no. I don't have no problem with that. But I just think right now, like when you look at the foundation of Monty Bates, I mean, you kind of see like what he really can turn out to be. Because I agree, become a better playmaker, just like Michael Porter Jr. That's one of the biggest complaints we've had with him. Like he got to be a better decision maker, but he's going to develop into that. It might take him a year, it might take him 2, but I think he got 2 of the best players to kind of learn to gain them skills. Honestly, like he gonna get there. The only thing that would hold him back, honestly, in my personal opinion, is his not saying I know this, but just how he ranks himself in terms of an ego. Like if he thinks he's better than a team, but I don't really think that's going to be a problem with him. I think he got humbled early, huh?
I think a little bit of ego is good. But real quick, man, we're going to go take a quick break. If you're watching on YouTube, just stay right here. If you're listening on audio platform, we're going to play a couple commercials to pay some bills. We'll be right back. And we're back on the That's Rather Cavalier podcast, here talking about and celebrating the Cleveland Cavaliers Summer League Championship. It's your boy Tate and the homie Relly Hall, talking Cavs Summer League, trying to figure this thing out, man. The Cavs have I think they're building the team the right way, right? They built through the draft, as far as Mobley, Garland, Okoro. A lot of talk about Okoro getting traded too this week.
Yeah.
Traded for that piece in Mitchell. Got Jared Allen the cheap in the trade. Those are the core players. LeVert in the trade. But then you see the summer league team and the development seems to be going okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's the Miami Heat development or the San Antonio Spurs developmental staff, but I mean it seems to be going in a positive direction when you look at some of the players the Cavs had on this summer league team.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to Sharif Cooper?
No. I was gonna ask you the same question because I'm like, why didn't he get out there? I'm not sure if he got hurt or.
Yeah, I saw him on the bench in regular clothes, street clothes.
Yeah.
But I know Diop, he went back. They sent him back to France. So they had to do it out there. Big man Mobley stepped up in a big way.
Yeah.
But we talking about Mobley and Merrill. Let's give them props for the games they had. Mobley had 28 on 60% shooting, 1 and 2 from 3, and I believe he had like 10 or 11 rebounds. I'm not seeing it right here on the box score. Merrill 24 points, 7 of 13 shooting, and 5 of 11 for 3. That's about 47%, man. You know what I mean? That's really, really good.
That's really good.
So I do like Merrill, man. I mean, that extra shooter off the bench. Well, that's another way to go, man.
I don't know, Tay. I gotta put him on there. I got he was fluid with his shot. Like he almost reminded me of like Trae Young in a way. Trae Young in a way, in a little bit how he was moving. You don't see that?
Trae Young from Sam Merrill?
Yeah.
I see a lot. I see a lot more who was calling the game. JJ Redick, a guy that comes off this motion, comes off screens, comes off pin downs, is looking for the pick and roll and step back. I mean, yeah, he's just looking to get open shot. Trae Young creates his shot off the bounce. I don't think Merrill really has that in his bag.
You don't think so?
Nah, man. You know he don't. You know he don't.
Also wanted to ask you too on a previous comment you made when you said it's nothing wrong with a little bit of ego, right?
Oh yeah, before we went to break, I did say
yeah. I kind of wanted to hear you expound on that, just to see what you mean about that, Tate.
Well, we won't put a whole broad statement like that. Most of the great athletes and players in their individual sports. Don't care what the sport is. They have some ego. You know what I mean? So to have the confidence to miss a shot and come down and take another bad shot, you know what I mean? That shows some level of confidence. I mean, and we forget when, R.I.P. Kobe. When Kobe was 19 years old, he was doing the same thing. Kobe Bryant was the best player in high school coming out in 1996 from Lower Merion in Philadelphia. And whatever Imani Bates had with his first year at Memphis and his transfer year to Eastern Michigan, he was one of the top 1 or 2 high school basketball players in the nation 2 years ago. 3 years ago on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think the Cavs got a huge steal. I think this kid is capable of a lot. As he continues to mature, I'm not as worried about the Donovan Mitchell situation now. I feel like maybe in 3 years the Cavs are building around Mobley, Bates, and Garland. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's the thing. Of course, I want Mitchell. He's a all pro NBA All-Star. I mean, so you gotta want him. But if it comes up where he decides he thinks he's gonna leave and we trade him for pieces, we have some pieces in place. The Cavs can be very good as we still go into the future.
So on the top or on the expound on that, like, what do you think would be the deciding factor where you say, all right, we might need to move on from Don? Like, what would that look like? What would it take for you?
If we don't have a good run in the playoffs this year, at least a second round, a competitive second round, at least a competitive second round. And after that, if he's talking about New York again, I don't know what New York would do with him. I mean, him and Brunson both are high users with the rock in their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see the fit there. Maybe you want to go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn can send us some good pieces back. But yeah, man. If I hear all that chatter again and he's not, if he doesn't have a good playoff series again like he did this past year, I mean, I believe his head's not in it. Hopefully it is, though.
Yeah. He's
very astute in saying the right things to the media, though.
Yeah.
You heard him interview at the Summer League games and stuff, talk about being there with his teammates, can't wait to get to work, yada, 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 yada. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping for the best, man.
That's a player that's had good bets around him. He knows what this, like, he might be truthful. He might be for real.
But Donovan Mitchell, not just good vets. I mean, he grew up in a 2-parent household. His dad was high up in the Mets organization. You know, I mean, he was groomed to
handle that,
to be able to be able to handle this stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to say trade Donovan. Only person I want to trade is Jared Allen. Only person I want to trade. But I say to talk about Okoro potentially getting traded, man. Or like this is his proven year up until the deadline.
I can see that, honestly. The only reason I feel like that has some type of weight is because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's his payment year. So
it is.
So if that's the case, the Cleveland Cavaliers don't want to get in a situation where they give him a big bag. Like I don't know what a market would look like for Isaac Okoro, but in my GM hat, I'm not giving a player like Isaac Okoro more than $100 million.
$100 million.
I'm not giving him more than 100. You know how these players is, hey man. Like,
I'm talking come from $100 million.
You know how these players. Hey,
come on, man. That's
how these.
That's GM negligence if you even talk about giving Isaac Okoro anything over $32 million for 4 years.
I mean, how much did Dylan Brooks get? Like 80?
But Dylan Brooks at least can sometimes make a shot.
Sometimes,
and he can create secondary offense. You know, not saying he's a point, He can put the ball on the floor and drive and kick. I ain't seen Okoro do that yet. His offensive game hasn't advanced that much yet.
I agree, but like, how much what would be the lucky number for you?
Okoro?
For
I said right now I want to go over 32 million for 4 years, 8 million at the most.
How much? Because didn't Dean Wade get that? Well, didn't he get like no? He might have got like 30.
3 years, 18.
Okay, $6
million a year. And so Dean Wade at least brings shooting.
He do, but obviously his agent is gonna do his work. Obviously his agent's not gonna sit there and say I'm only worth 10 million than Dean Wade.
You know the thing about it though, the market dictates that. The market lets you know where you at. Do you see a high bidding war for Isaac Okoro?
No, but it's probably a dumb team that give him a somewhat decent bag though. Let
me ask you this: right now, would you rather have Isaac Okoro or Kelly Oubre Jr.?
Ice.
Really?
I would.
Why?
I don't rate Kelly Oubre that high as many of y'all do. I honestly,
no, we're comparing to Isaac Okoro. We're not rating high.
No, but sincerely, I feel like they're both one-sided on what they do. I don't think Kelly Oubre is much of a defender. He's not. He can get you some points, but he's not a consistent offensive player. I mean, I guess you can say the same thing with Ice. I know. I can see. But at least Isaac can guard a defender. I mean, to guard a offensive player. At least he can hold him.
You can use the argument against Kelly Oubre.
Yeah,
that he's not a consistent offensive player.
I mean, yeah, because once if Kelly Oubre not scoring, what else is he bringing to the team? Passing,
rebound, lane. I mean, I just think he's a bigger threat to Okoro. And I've been sticking with Okoro since day one when he came out of Auburn, man, in 2021. Mm-hmm. I really like Okoro, man.
But you would pick Kelly Oubre over Ice? Like confidently?
I probably would, just for roster construction, another scorer on the floor. Yeah, look at it. How much time is Ice gonna get this year coming up? What's his role? You tell me.
That's a good. I think he's gonna come off the bench for sure.
For sure.
He's gonna come
Six man.
6 man, yeah.
Over LeVert.
Over. You right, yeah, we do got him on the roster. You right, but he be 7th man.
Over Niang?
Yeah, 7th man, yeah.
No, man, Niang can just come in and shoot, man. Face the floor. Really, come on, man. And you know I like Okoro, man. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I'm just saying that's why they lost. But against the Knicks, the offense became bogged down and stagnant. When you can't have somebody on the floor that's at least a threat to make the open corner threes. And he wasn't that.
I agree. But that's also why I don't think Isaac Okoro is going to get paid. And that's also why I agree with you that he is going to be on the market. If we're being honest, Isaac Okoro knows this is going to have to be one of those seasons where he has a pretty much a good jump offensively. But
yeah, we're looking at a few pictures of the Cavs, 3 of them right there. Bates, Mobley, Murrow, that's tough. Your boy for the Rockets, first-round pick, Cam Whitmore, like that.
He was hooping. He a dog.
Dude, nice.
He a dog, yeah.
Yeah, I like his game. I mean, Houston got a lot of ingredients to throw in the pot over there. And, you know, they got a master chef in Ime Udoka. So I like where they headed, man. I mean, JB got to get his stuff together, man. I think he can. I heard Lamar Stevens got cut today, man.
He did.
Do we pick him back up?
You think we should resign him?
I don't know how that works with the NBA, regulations and trades and stuff. Like, can you trade somebody that get cut, pick them up? I don't know if you could do that.
We did it with Rubio. We did it with Rubio.
We traded Rubio.
We did, yeah. Then they released
Indiana. Finished his contract in Indiana, then we signed him again as a free agent. You know what I mean? Lamar Stevens is a free agent, but I think there might be a rule against you can't re-sign a free agent that you just traded and got cut. I think. I'm not saying this. If you could sign him, would you re-sign him?
I mean, even if we could, it makes that problem you was talking about earlier even so harder, because now it's like, do you think Lamar Stevens is better than Isaiah Mobley? Is you gonna replace him with a spot with Porter or Sam Merrill? Like, like it really restricts.
Yeah, it just makes things rough. I mean, for mine, immediately I probably get rid of Dean Wade if I can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because you needed shooting. You needed Dean Wade shooting. Agreed. You needed it. Now they acquired some shooters. Now you need Lamar Stevens' toughness. They don't have that guy.
So then I ask you this then, right? Well, if you heard the rumors, do you wait a little bit, because now they saying Christian Woods is on the market and the Cleveland Cavaliers is looking to acquire Christian Woods potentially? How would you handle that?
Christian Woods doesn't do anything for me. Okay. He's, again, I might prefer to have Kelly Oubre over Christian Wood.
Really?
Christian Wood is less defensively than what Kelly Oubre is. And their problem against the Knicks last year were the bigs in the paint, whether it be Randall, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, Josh Hart. Everybody was getting bullied, and Christian Wood's gonna get bullied right along with Mobley and Allen. So but I don't know, bro. It's definitely a discussion for another day, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap up and get out of here. You got anything going on? Anything you want to plug or anything before we get out of here, man?
Nothing much. I'm just excited to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers win a championship in the Summer League. Give us another tougher situation where we got to decide which player should be on the main roster.
Definitely a good problem to have, man. And
yeah,
we'll hash this out as the summer continues to go on and we get. Well, before we go, do you think there's one more move that they need to make?
I do, but I think that one more decision has to do with what you was just touching on. I think you still got to find that tough guy for the Cavs.
Yeah,
somebody with that dog mentality. I just don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but we can talk about that on one of our next shows coming up. Thanks everybody for joining us and checking us out on the That's Rather Cavalier podcast. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube, on Facebook. Listen to us on audio platform on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Wherever you listen to your audio podcasts, just type in FFSN, That's Rather Cavalier, and we're sure to come up. Today is me and Relly, not here with the homies Big G and BP, but check them out next go around. We all hopefully will be getting together soon. And until next time, the homie Tate and for the homie Relly Hall, peace.